This AI agent tells me when to buy, sell, or hold a stock. It analyzes technical data and live news sentiment all automatically. And I'm going to show you how to build this exact day trader from scratch. The magic is a three-part system. First, we feed it with raw market data, basically the numbers. Second, we give it the market narrative by letting it read the latest financial news. And third, we combine both inside one powerful AI brain that makes the final call. And don't worry, the entire system kicks off with a simple Telegram message that takes less than 60 seconds to set up. And if you stick around, I'll even give you the secret code snippet that you can copy and paste to make the AI 10 times smarter. But first, let me show you what the output looks like. So I'm inside of my Telegram bot. This is just an example called Ava. And you can see that I put in the stock pick for Nvidia. It actually gives me a stock report split into two parts. So the first part is the market analysis report, gives me an executive overview, key risks, potential catalysts. And this is based on all the technical analysis. It's giving me the short-term data, the short-term outlook, trends for 1 day, 15 minutes, 1 minute, 1 hour, etc. It's giving me the volatility scores and a technical breakdown with commentary. It's giving me an actionable trading plan, which includes a bias, in this case it's bullish, an entry price, a stop loss, and a take profit. It's giving me key market observations, so volume spikes, both for the 1 minute and for the 1 day, unusual gaps, and there's a final takeaway. And remember guys, I haven't sat here, looked at the market, or done any of this. I've let my AI agents take care of all of this for me. And this works for any stock pick. Okay, so we start off this automation with the Telegram trigger node. It's set for on message, so whenever I type in the stock pick, it will then trigger the automation. And you can see here that the text they picked up was Nvidia, because that's what I typed into my Telegram bot. Once we have that, we need to know what the ticker code is, because Nvidia is not how it's described to the markets. So next node is a HTTP request node. And for this, I'm just going to query Yahoo Finance. And the reason for that is their API is completely free. So the endpoint I'm using is this one here. And then for the actual stock, I'm just going to take that from the Telegram node, which is the text field here. You just drag and drop it. The method is get, because I'm pulling it from their servers. And that's pretty much it. There's not much more to this. Once it runs, you get output like this. There's a ton of information here. And because of that, I've added a JavaScript node because I just want to extract the ticker. I don't need anything else. And this is just some basic JavaScript. And from all of these fields, I just want this one here, which is the symbol. And the ticker is Nvidia. So when it runs, it'll extract this as a new variable called ticker. And then because we have that, I've just created another node for set variable. And I've manually mapped it as a new variable called ticker. And this just makes it easier for me to manipulate it downstream because there's a lot of manipulation that we're going to need to do with this particular stock pick. So as you can see, for the first part, we want to get the charts. So we want to get the 1 minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and the 1 hour chart. Now again, you can have any time frame that you want. I'm just doing what's commonly used in the industry and from what I've seen other traders do. But the process is identical for each of these three nodes. So you can literally just set up the 1 minute chart and then duplicate it for the 15-minute and 1 hour chart. So for the 1 minute chart, we're going to use the HTTP request node again. The method is get, and this is the endpoint. Again, it's through the Yahoo API because it's completely free. And then you want the stock picker from the previous node, which is this ticker variable. And then this is the function that you would change. So for this particular example, the range is 1 minute. Once it runs, you get an output like this. And it's the same for the 15-minute and the 1 hour chart. So you can just duplicate the node. But for the 15-minute, you're going to change the interval to 15M. Everything else stays the same. And for the 1 hour chart, you do the same, but the interval now is 1H for 1 hour. And then once we have that, we can extract meaningful data from Yahoo Finance, which is why I've added the JavaScript node. And this is for the 1 minute analysis. Again, you could duplicate it and just change it for all three. And there's a little code here, but basically what I'm asking you to do is to just extract the meaningful data from the Yahoo Finance script. And so for this, we have the MACD, we have the n8n, we have volatility, trend, support, volume, entry price, stop loss, take profit, etc., etc. I want to get as much data as possible so that I can plug it into the stock analysis agent later downstream. And it's exactly the same for the 15-minute and the 1 hour analysis. So that's the first part done. Now we're going to build the second part of the automation, which is grabbing the market sentiment and then plugging that into our final agent. So the first node is going to be an AI agent, and I've just called it market sentiment. The prompt we're going to use is the ticker from the set variable node. And then for the system message, I've given it an extensive prompt. So you are a highly specialized, accurate sentiment analyzer for financial markets. That's pretty much it. Initially, when I built this, I did have the market sentiment for X, for Reddit, for Google News, and a few other platforms. But since then, I've simplified it, and I'm just using Yahoo Finance because it's more than enough. And so because you've got an AI agent, we're going to need a couple of things here. So I've given it a think tool. So a think tool is just extra reasoning. And I've added it to the market sentiment because I want to make sure that the AI agent has all the data before it can make a meaningful output with the sentiment. The next thing we're going to need is a language model. So I'm using 2.5 Flash from Gemini. The reason being is because it's super fast, but more importantly, the API is free. And then I've given it a sub agent. So for this is the Yahoo Finance agent, and the agent will scrape Yahoo Finance with financial data. For the system message, I've just said that you are a Yahoo Finance agent specialized in scraping assistant for financial market analysis. We're going to scrape the ticker, and I've just given it some parameters and some guidelines. Basic instructions of what I want this agent to scrape from Yahoo Finance. Again, I'm using the same language model, which is Flash 2.5 from Gemini. But for the scraping, I'm going to use a platform called Apify. So you want to add the HTTP request node. The method is post. I'll show you how to get this URL in a second, and I'll show you which scraper that I'm using for this. And then you want to send the body option to be be on. We're going to use JSON and we're going to specify body in JSON. And then this is JSON that we're going to use. And I'll show you exactly how you can find that. The ticker is just going to be very simple. It's just a JSON ticker, which is from the set variable node. Once it scrapes, you'll have all this information here. So head over to apify.com. You can sign up for free and they give you $5 in free credit. The actual Yahoo Finance scraper I'm using is this one here because it's the cheapest by far. It's 35 cents for 1,000 results. The ticker, you can put anything in here. It doesn't really matter. And there's two bits of information that we're going to need from Apify. The first is JSON. So you're going to grab this here and then paste it inside of the JSON body here. But instead of Apple, we're going to use a dynamic variable, which is why you copy this in here. And you can see here at the bottom that it's going to be Nvidia, which is the ticker for Nvidia. The second thing we need is the URL with our access token on there. So click on where it says API endpoints, and then go down to where it says run actor synchronously and get dataset items. You just copy this, head back into the HTTP request node and just paste it here. So this has the actor and your access token on the end, and it'll just run. There's nothing else for you to do. So now that we have the market analysis and the technical analysis, we can put that all together and get the stock sentiment. The first node is going to be a merge fields node. And for this, the mode is append. The number of inputs is 3 because we have 3 outputs from the technical inputs. And then I've added another JavaScript node because we have 3 sets of data. And so I want to turn that into one object, which is just much easier for the short-term analysis agent to basically crunch and give us an output. And this is the basic JSON that I've used for this. So you can see here that it's taken 3 items and turned it into one. Now that we have that, we can then plug it into an AI agent, which is called the short-term analysis agent. The inputs are going to be the short-term market data and the short-term data. And then for the system message, I've just given it UI professional stock analysis assistant. You receive structured JSON for 3 objects. And then I've given it steps for formatting. So context, I've given it short-term outlook, trend, support, resistance, volatility, average volume. I've given it a technical summary. And this could be any metrics that you want to put in there or any type of trading style. This is what I'm using for this particular example. And I've asked for a short-term trading plan. The plan includes bias, an entry price, a stop loss, a take profit. And so basically everything I showed you on the Telegram bot. I've asked for key observations, a conclusion, and output rules. So it's quite big, it's very extensive, and that's because I don't want to leave this to chance. I want to use AI to give me the best possible short-term analysis. And then it will have an output like this. And because we're using an AI agent, we're going to need a language model. So again, I'm using 2.5 Flash because it's the fastest on the market. And now we're on the last part of the automation. So we're going to merge the 2 parts that we have, which is the short-term analysis and the market sentiment. It's going to be another merge node, but this time we only have 2 inputs. And then this is the last AI agent. This is the final stock analysis agent. The prompt is going to be the output from the merge node because this is one block. All of that's together. And for the system message, I've said you are an expert trading analyst and structured report generator for financial markets. I've given it some instructions, and this is basically the output that I want inside of Telegram. I've given it key risks, potential catalysts, multi-time frame technical view. I've given it short-term outlook, technical breakdowns, actual trading plan, market, key market observations, final takeaways, recommendations, and sentiment analysis. It's actually a huge prompt. And once it runs, you have an output like this. And then I've added one last JavaScript node. And the reason for that is there is a text character limit inside of Telegram. I believe it's like 4,000 per message. So what I'm asking this node to do is to split the message up if it's more than 4,000 characters. So in the example I showed you, there was 2 messages. And all this will do is it will just split it up and then optimize it for Telegram. So you can see an output like this. And the last node is to message Ava, which is my Telegram bot. The resources message, the operation is send message. We need a chat ID, which you can find from the first node. If you go all the way down, it's just this field here. And then for the output, we're just going to need the message from the format message node. Paste that in here so it's completely optimized. It's not going to break Telegram. And then once you run it, you'll see an output like this. But more importantly, you're going to get the message inside of Telegram. So we just built a fully functional AI trading bot. And if you want this exact template, click on the link in the description and you can download this and save yourself hours that it took me to build this. We have a great community of people working 9 to 5 but want to switch to an AI business, guys that want an AI side hustle, and people who are new to AI and don't know where to start. I have each of these covered for you in great detail, and there's a ton of resources in there. So link is in the description. Thank you so much if you made it this far. Your support for the channel means the world to me. Smash the like button if this is a revelation for you, because I know there's a lot of people out there who didn't know that you could use AI to help you with trading. Subscribe to the channel if you think this is awesome, and why wouldn't you? Because I'm somebody who runs an AI agency. I do this full time, and I drop a lot of great AI source on this channel. So turn the notifications on if you want to be the first to know when the next video drops, and I'll see you next time.